This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by the good folks over at Ease, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. Pop over to ease.com to check if your local part of the Golden State is allowing for legal marijuana delivery and if Ease is active there. With orders taking just minutes to place and deliveries happening in an hour or less, getting top quality legal marijuana products that are properly labeled, tested, and packaged has never been easier. From edibles to vape pens and from flowers to concentrates, you'll find it all at ease.com, spelled E-A-Z-E. Big thanks to everyone over at Ease for the support that makes today's news possible. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Monday, May 21st, 2018, and you're tuned in to episode 494 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Our top story of the day starts us off in the week's news in the Big Apple, where New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio's office announced yesterday that he was ordering the New York City Police Department to stop arresting people entirely for using cannabis in public. Instead, NYPD cops will give people they catch smoking or otherwise consuming cannabis summonses, which are more akin to a traffic ticket. In addition, the mayor will form a task force that will study how to best prepare the city for the coming days of adult use legalization, which Mayor de Blasio says is inevitable, even as he himself isn't the most progressive politician around on the issue. This is a good one to start the week off with a full dive in. Swing over to the New York Daily News for their exclusive take on the big policy change. Late last week, a judge in Ohio threw out a lawsuit that had been filed against the state over how medical marijuana authorities handed out business licenses to cultivate medical cannabis. 5 failed license applicants had asked for an injunction to be placed on the licensing process and that the whole thing be redone. On Thursday, Franklin County Judge Kim Brown denied that request on the grounds that the 5 companies hadn't properly filed their appeal through lower-level administrative hearings. This is a bit of a complicated storyline with another court case relevant to the issue in play, which you can learn more about over at cleveland.com. Today's final top story winds us way out west to Oregon, where the U.S. Attorney for Oregon, Billy Williams, says that he will focus his office's efforts on combating the sale of cannabis grown in state and sold over the border. Oregon has a well-publicized cannabis cultivation glut right now, and simple math suggests that there is a lot of cannabis escaping the legal market into illicit markets, both within Oregon and in other states. U.S. Attorney Williams released a memo on Friday detailing his plans, which include a focus on reducing underage cannabis use, as well as the negative environmental impacts from outdoor grows. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out in headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Ease, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. Ease.com is a great site because not only can you place an order for legal marijuana delivery, assuming you live in a part of California where it's allowed and where Ease is active, but you can also use the website to better inform your understanding of the modern cannabis consumer. If you scroll down just a bit on Ease.com, you'll find all the useful and valuable bits of industry insight and analysis that Ease has put together. They use both consumer surveys of their customer base as well as some extracted wisdom from their properly aggregated and anonymized sales data stream. If you do business in legal marijuana, you need to understand the people who consume it. Do that better over at ease.com, which again is spelled E-A-Z-E. That's ease.com. All right, time for the blitz. The state agencies in charge of directly overseeing California's new legal marijuana industry want to take another 3 months to work out their transition from temporary licensing to a permanent structure. Adult use legalization was made legal in California on January 1st, thanks to 2016's Proposition 64, but the industry has been operating under a set of temporary rules and regulations since then, meant to ease the process of taking a complex and convoluted gray market over to a more regulated and legal system. California cannabis businesses have had equally temporary licensing to operate, which they'll be given another 3 months past the original June end date. Click over to New Cannabis Ventures for links to proposed changes from the state's Bureau of Cannabis Control, Department of Food and Agriculture, and Department of Public Health. Tom Angel over Marijuana Moments picked up on some pro-cannabis comments made by former U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder, who said that he didn't think marijuana was addictive during an interview published on Friday. President Obama's former AG said, quote, "I've never seen any scientific evidence that points you to concerns about addiction through the use of marijuana," unquote. Click over to Marijuana Moment for more context and background on this one. Al Jazeera is reporting that the first medical marijuana dispensary in Africa has opened up in Durban, South Africa. The shop only sells low THC, high CBD products, but it's a start, hopefully with many, many more to follow. Alan Brockstein over New Cannabis Ventures has a good piece up looking at how things are up in Canada in terms of legal cannabis supply. Canada is in the process of rolling out nationwide adult use legalization, and while there have been a lot of big deals in the works up north, Alan lays out some of the complexities that lie between those announced deals and planted cannabis seeds and the end consumer. Absolutely worth the full read. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Keeping up north of the border for a headline, Leafly has a good story up about a new excise tax plan to be imposed on the aforementioned legal Canadian marijuana market. Leafly's Harrison Jordan nicely describes the plan, which will require that Canadian cannabis retailers affix special excise stamp taxes to all marijuana products sold to signify their compliance with payment of said taxes. This is certainly a plan that could be replicated elsewhere, so this is another one I'd read if I were you. The Detroit Free Press has a curious headline out of Michigan where we've had a number of stories around the storyline of Republicans wanting to legalize adult use cannabis ahead of a proposed fall ballot measure on the same issue so as to repress Democratic voter turnout, which would be boosted if marijuana legalization were put up for vote in November. The latest story from the Detroit Free Press looks at a prohibitionist group that has a similarly conflicted take on legalizing adult use marijuana. The Committee to Keep Pot Out of Neighborhoods and Schools is a political action committee that was formed to fight the scourge of sensible and progressive marijuana policy reform, but now wants Michigan state lawmakers to legalize adult use because they think it will allow for a more strict version of legalization to be put in place than if the question were left up to the voters. And finally for today, we bounce back to Ohio for a headline where the Associated Press has news that the Ohio Ballot Board certified late last week a proposed ballot measure to legalize the adult use of marijuana. The initiative's backers will now go to work trying to collect more than 300,000 signatures needed to land on the November ballot. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. What's the best thing to drink during a marathon? Running water. Thanks to our sponsor Ease and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on the big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.